Is an important part of the Enphase metering solution. There are 5 principles that you must know to be successful. In this lesson, you will learn about the first 2 principles. The first principle that you must know is that CTs have polarity, and if you install them in the wrong direction, you will get incorrect readings. The polarity of the CT is determined by the direction of the secondary windings around the ferrite core. The CT sensor will have a sticker indicating which way is the expected polarity. That arrow will tell you which way it's expecting the current to flow through the conductors that get placed within the CT. As mentioned previously, getting the polarity correct is crucial to having accurate readings. Polarity errors are one of the most common problems that we see within the installation. Let's look at where you can find the polarity markings on the CT sensors. Here's the production CT. You will see that the sticker is showing an arrow pointing up. The direction of the arrow is telling you that the CT is expecting to have the current from the L1 PV conductor flowing in the same direction as the arrow. And here's a pro tip. If that sticker ever falls off, you'll always know which way the arrow will point by looking at the side of the CT. You'll see that there is a flat end and a beveled end. The arrow will always point toward the beveled end. For the consumption CTs, you'll find the polarity arrow on the sticker on top of the sensor. Now that we know what polarity is, let's learn where we need to install the CT to meter the PV generation and the consumption usage. For the production CT, you'll see that we have it installed on the L1 conductor coming from the PV system with the polarity arrow facing the loads. Remember that you want the electrons from the PV system to flow in the same direction as the polarity arrow, or you'll get incorrect readings. If you have more than one PV branch circuit, you will want to pass all of the L1 conductors from each branch circuit through the middle of the production CT. The production CT has a total ampacity of 200 amps. To measure the consumption usage, you'll need to install 2 consumption CTs. One consumption CT will go on the L1 conductor coming from the utility, and the other one will go on the L2 conductor. You want to measure the flow of current coming in from the utility, so make sure that the polarity arrow is facing away from the utility towards your loads. In this example, the arrow is facing up since the utility is coming in from the bottom of the box. You will learn how to connect the CT wires to the Envoy terminal blocks in the next lesson. The second principle that you must know to be successful is that the CT must be wired to the Envoy correctly. If you wire them incorrectly, your readings will be incorrect. If you're wiring a standalone Envoy that is not in the Enphase combiner box, you'll need to connect the production CT wires to the Envoy's terminal blocks. The Envoy has 3 sets of terminal blocks. You'll want to use the terminal block in the center. This terminal block consists of 6 terminals on the top and 6 terminals on the bottom. Notice that this is a stair-stepped terminal block. When you install the production CT wires, make sure that you install the white wire into the terminal block number 1 and the blue wire into the terminal block number 2 on the top terminal blocks. While the lid is lifted up to expose the terminal blocks on the Envoy, there's a sticker telling you where to place the wires. Use this reference to ensure you get the correct connections. When you install the consumption CT wires, use terminal blocks 4 and 5. These are noted as C1 and C2 on the sticker reference. C1 is the consumption CT going around your utility line 1. C2 is the second consumption CT going around your utility line 2 coming into the house. The white wires of each CT go on the top terminal block, and the blue wires of each CT go on the bottom terminal block. An easy way to remember this is blue wire, bottom terminal block. Looking at the sticker for reference, C1 shows that the white wire is on the top terminal block and the blue wire is on the bottom terminal block. If you were to put the blue wire on the top terminal block and the white wire on the bottom terminal block, that would essentially be a reversed polarity scenario and would result in a negative value for that reading. This picture illustrates the correct wiring for the Envoy. The far left terminal block is the wiring for the Envoy's power. The middle terminal block is for the production and consumption CTs, And the far right terminal blocks are not to be used and should not have any wires connected to them.